morning. I was just noticing the sun is doing its best to try and rise here. Kind of a hazy sun, but at least it's a sun. And the weather is not near as bad, or the storm we had, I think it's just about over. It wasn't near as bad as they said it could have been. About 5 days ago, when they were predicting as much as 60 centimeters of snow, well, I'm guessing we probably had, the snow has drifted, so in places it's deep, yes. But overall, I don't think we actually had a big accumulation of snow. I think maybe it was only about, I'm just guessing, 10 centimeters? That's what I think it was. Now, it's pretty hard to measure blowing snow. It's easy to measure it when it's coming straight down. But when it's blowing around all over the place, and you'll have a drift that's about 60 centimeters deep, and then somewhere else, you're like where I put the carrots, it's blowing clear. So it depends on where you measure. Where I put the carrots out this morning, and I'll show you that. That was kind of cute. At least I think it was cute. Well, I don't want to spoil it. So it's nothing special. Just a rabbit came by. Okay, we did a lot of work yesterday. We did a lot of painting. I don't know how many little pieces there is there. I used the 56, and I don't know if this is a mistake to have used the 56 or not, but this is what it is. If it turns out to be a bad color, well, I won't use it on the Iowa. And I think we'll get to the Iowa. I really do, especially if I feel as gung-ho as I do right now this morning. We'll get to the Iowa. Yeah, my mojo is on the go this morning. Anyway, let's roll back to yesterday, and you see what happened here. Nothing special. I explain about the problem we had in the previous episode. You're going to want to hear that. Anyway, let's just roll back here. Okay, so what went wrong here yesterday? Besides the fact that these wide-angle lenses make me look fat. Now, I haven't put on that much weight, but they do. They sort of make me look wider than I actually am. Maybe that's why they call them wide-angle lenses. Anyway, okay, so by what went wrong, I meant why is it that a lot of my video was out of focus when I pulled back to 24 millimeter, in other words, wide angle. And yet it was fine when I was at 200. And I sat here for a while trying to figure out what could have gone wrong. And I think I know what happened. First of all, the focusing ring on these new Z mount lenses are not really connected to a cam or anything like that. It's all electronic. It's kind of like the gas pedal on my car. It's not really connected to the engine. It's connected to the computer, which in turn tells the engine what to do. And I can see where it's a good idea, especially like for traction control and all that kind of stuff. But I really don't like it, because let's say I'm idling at, say, 600 RPM, and it's just idling. But I wanted to charge my battery because I haven't used my car for a while. So as I'm sitting at the red light, I shift it into neutral. If I can just speed it up just a little bit, I know it's going to be, charging just a little bit, or probably as much as it's gonna. So I figure 1,000 RPM will be right. Well, it is real hard to adjust it from just 600 to 1,000. It wants to jump up to 1,200 or 1,500. And it's the same problem when you want to slowly accelerate away from something. Now it doesn't mean that you're gonna have trouble parking or anything like that. It's just that it's, I don't know. Well, this has something like that. The focusing ring is not really coupled to a cam, which moves the lens groups back and forth and all that kind of stuff like in the older lenses. And I think what happened was, well, I'm going to do an experiment here. I thought you might like to watch. And what I think happened was, let's get her going here. Okay, we'll open her up. Okay, 6.3 is the widest it will go at 200 millimeter. And of course you can see it's out of focus there, so I'm going to move my focusing ring. And we're going to get it focused as close as it can go, which is right there. Now that's what this stick is all about. It gives me, well, it's pretty well dead on. You're going to think that I had this set up from before. Well, I kind of did, but not just recently. Okay. Now I know that if I have my focusing ring as close as it will go, in other words, I'm still turning it, but nothing's happening in there because it's already reached the end of its travel, if you know what I mean. It's not that it's on a slip clutch, well, it kind of is. It's an electronic thing going on. And, you know, like I say, I think it's good and I think it's bad. So, all right, so now we're focused perfectly. Now, I'm gonna close the lens down a little bit. Okay, F13, it'll give me a little bit of depth of field on that part. And it will also not get to the place where it will start to get blurry. Like if I stop it right down as far as it'll go, and I think it'll go to like 32 or something. 36, it'll go to F36. But right now, it's not quite as sharp as if I have it back at, say, 11. Okay, there I got it back at 11. I suppose my arm was in the way and you couldn't see the changing on the screen. But now the back part of the rail I can see on the screen is not quite as sharp as it normally could be. Now, Missy, you stay out of those carrots. Okay. Remember I said it doesn't take much to distract me. What were we doing here? Okay, now, if I pull back to wide angle, it'll probably, everything should still be in focus here, more or less. Not perfectly, but it won't be as bad as, it won't be blurry like it was yesterday. At least that's the plan. Okay. Yeah, that's quite acceptable. I can read the writing on the back of my box and it's working quite good. Now, I think what happened was, yesterday, I thought to myself, I want to make sure, in other words, when I was pulled back, I thought, I want to make sure that my focusing is as close as it can be, and I know that if I take this ring and go down with it a few times, all right there, it fuzzied out. That's what's happened. Now, when I zoomed in, it would still be in focus. It is, isn't it? Should I look? Yep, more or less. Okay, so I know what the problem is, and I'm not going to do it again. And I apologize for yesterday's blurriness. I mean, what's the use of uploading in 4K if I don't have the camera focused right? I'm guessing about 6 hours has passed here now since we painted these. And I think that in all likelihood, our paint has shrink wrapped, you might say, about as much as it's going to. So let's put the macro lens on and see, especially right on the top there where those two little sights are. You used to be able to see through the webbing, if you want to call it that. Let's see if we still can. I'll try and find the first one of these that I did. I think that was the one that I went the most overboard, you might say, on the paint. Anyway, let's stick on our macro lens here and move right in. Now I have to admit that paint certainly does have an unusual texture. Okay, this site right here, by the way, this is my smallest paintbrush. You can see where it has sort of plugged up, at least it appears that it did. Now it could be that it was like that before I started painting. Now I'm thinking that possibly if I took some brass colored paint and maybe kind of just dry brushed a little bit on the top of these to make these shell casings show up a little bit. I don't know if I dare do that or not, or is it going to be just so obvious? And maybe the railing in the back, I could maybe do something different to that, just to so that some of the details, like maybe this little box, whatever it is, it could be a different color. I'm just sort of thinking out loud. I probably won't bother doing it. Now, the one that was the worst, you might say, I believe was this one right here. I think this is the one that got really overdone. And it looks okay. It almost looks better than the first one. Now I am noticing that right in here it does appear that it might still be a little bit wet. It looks, unless that's just the way it is. Okay, let's find the crane. I might have to recompose here. Yeah, I'm going to have to back out a little bit. We're just too close in. Now, if you will remember, I was talking about the ladder that I was saying that we didn't plug up the rungs on the ladder. And yeah, I think we got away with that drenching I gave it. Now, they're on the boom that hooks onto our crane, and it goes, it gets hooked on, okay, this is the back. Yeah, it gets hooked right in here. There's sort of a little hinge bracket right here that it's going to have to fit into. And on the boom, when I was spraying, you know what, it's without actually showing you, it's not going to make much sense, so I'm going to wait until I actually do touch it up. We're going to go to the catapult right now, though. Don't want to put too much pressure on. Okay, so I will leave it on the rotator when I spray it, but I won't have it automatically rotating under power. And I probably will want to take it off afterwards and spray from underneath just a little bit, although nobody's going to see it from this angle anyway. But may as well just to play it safe here. And remember, I was talking about the boom. Okay, let's just move this over a little bit here. Now, when I was spraying the boom, I was holding the tweezers like this, and I was basically spraying in at this angle like this. And I turned it over, and you know, I got it pretty good. Except that, if you notice, on the front of this roller here, see if I can get it so you can see it. It's just, in other words, I'm going to have to bring the spray in from this way, just one little pass. Try and get this right here where it's a little bit, what I feel is just a little bit plasticky looking. But otherwise, the boom is okay. Yeah, that is. I think that paint actually looks not too bad on parts like this. Now, I am very glad that I did not opt to use this color on the entire hull, even though it would have given our Rodney a real dark, ominous look. I think it would have been just the wrong color. But for details like this, I think it's going to be good. At least that's my opinion. I'm sure I'm going to be hearing otherwise from people, but yeah, I think it's going to be okay. Okay, here's hoping I've got the focusing right this time. And when I cleaned the airbrush, I put back in the 0.3 millimeter nozzle. I felt that we were going through the paint just way too fast. Okay, we'll see if 20 pounds will power it. Well, I may as well push stop. I got back flushing here. Something's wrong. Okay, I put back the 0.5 millimeter nozzle. So we're back to the way we were this morning. I realize you probably couldn't see that very good. Now, as you can see from this snapshot here, there's a lot of little pieces yet that I gotta paint. Now, I'm not going to paint the boats, nor the aircraft, or the larger turrets on the right-hand side, but all those piddly little pieces, I'm going to paint them the same color that I just did. What was it, the 56? And I'll probably use the rotator under power because they're so small and it'll work out really good. But you know, I'm not going to do it on camera. I'm just going to hurry up and get them done. And yeah, I think that's it for the rollback. So we'll see you in the morning. Okay, it is morning. And when I first got myself going this morning and I looked in the surveillance monitor, I saw a little rabbit hopping by where I'd put out the carrots yesterday, and they were all gone. So in order to get to the carrot place, I had to sort of shovel a little path for myself. Yeah, but we got there. It was either that or fill my slippers full of snow. Anyway, about 5 minutes later, this came by. Yeah. And that's what I was talking about earlier that I thought was kind of cute. Now, I don't know. It's cuteness is in the eye of the beholder, right? I think the saying goes something like that. Or is it beauty is in the eye of the beholder? Anyway, yeah, let's just move on here. Okay, once again, I realize you can't see it, but the sun is trying to come out. It could be that this so-called blizzard is over. I haven't checked the weather yet this morning. Anyway, now, these boats are done. Nothing more we need to do to them. But these ones here, it's a different story. Now, the hulls, we know we're going to be using the XF 19 on the hulls. Okay, that's what we used on these ones here. It looked pretty good. The turrets are going to be the 66. Now we are done with the 56 for a while, except for touch-ups. I noticed when I was looking at some of these earlier that one of the I think it was one of these type of guns. The photo etch was sort of glinting through. I guess I didn't spray it heavy enough. Now, it's hard to believe that I actually didn't spray something heavy enough. Okay, these are going to be the 66, and so are these. That's going to be the main color for the superstructure and the upper hull of the Rodney, the 66. Now, when we get to the little boats, after we've sprayed the hulls and probably most everything else, it's going to get covered with the 19. I think that maybe it might be a good idea to try and mask these off. At least that's my thinking right now. Mask them off and then spray the inside. Or on the other hand, no. Maybe I'll these ones here that are open. Maybe what I should be doing with them is just leaving the. I don't know. Should I try and paint the inside there? That would have to be done first, and then this upper part could either be the deck tan, or maybe even brush on this stuff. That looked pretty good too. You know, and then it'd end up looking like this. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of talking here. I gotta I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up today's episode, and then later this afternoon, I'm going to, being as that I know that these are all going to be the 66, I'm just going to go ahead and spray them. How much videoing of that I'll do, I don't know yet. We'll know in tomorrow's videos rollback. And the airplane, we were going to do some sort of a silver on that, weren't we? And I don't know if we're going to try and do a two-tone or not, because we're not going to see it from the bottom. We're only going to be seeing it from the top, so it doesn't matter if the bottom is not sky blue or something like that. Because the idea with these sort of planes was you wanted to have them sort of camouflaged. Not like a plane today that, you paint it so it can be seen. Something like this, you paint it so it can't be seen. Anyway, once again, I'm starting to ramble here. So thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.